Growing up, I attended church most weekends and attended catechism from First Communion through to my confirmation. During my senior year in high school, I experienced my first real crisis of faith when my cousin died of heart failure while training for lacrosse. I blamed God for taking my cousin, which eventually became a convenient scapegoat for all of my problems. I started having bad anxiety, depression, panic attacks, and OCD, which led to self-medication. I became a devout atheist and chose to focus my studies on evolution while I majored in psychology and minored in biology. This became my religion, where I learned I was not responsible for my actions because there were no guiding principles in nature. I believed that everything was predetermined because we evolved to behave the way that we do. As this carried on, I became an outspoken opponent of religion. I would often debate my fellow students and co-workers to get them to stop believing in anything outside of a naturalistic worldview. While it may seem that my worldview was now complete, I was actually at my lowest point. Shortly after this, I met a girl who would later become my wife, and she convinced me to try faith. We started attending some churches, and I enjoyed the good feeling I got from attending. Some of the Bible verses were actually pretty insightful. I drifted back towards faith and even started referring to myself as a Christian again. However, I continued to live the life that I wanted to live, where I was the center of my world. Eventually, our relationship fell apart a couple years after our daughter was born. It was at this time that I really started to look for a deeper relationship with God. In the end, my marriage failed because I wasn't living a Christian life, and I did not want this for me and my daughter. This is when my wife Jessica comes into the story. She grew up in the church and wanted to have a relationship where God played a strong role. It was around this time that I happened into a conversation with Seth, another dad at our kids' soccer games. As I shared my story, he listened intently, and when I finished, he invited me to come to New Day. I mentioned this to Jess, and we decided to go. Shortly after our first service, we decided we had found our home. My favorite part was when my daughter said, "I prayed to Jesus, and then I got to play." Jess and I knew then that this was the place for us. The story does not end here, however. The best part was that when Jess and I made the decision to be baptized, and were able to have Seth baptize us. Since we started coming to New Day, we have begun praying as a family, making and attending church a priority, and attending a marriage small group. New Day has encouraged us to incorporate Jesus into our everyday life.